sound of 2025, or is it the sound of 2024 or 2023 or perhaps 20 sort of 19? It
2018, confidence.
2018.
Mm,
Yeah, it's like I don't know who they have asked to pull this list together, but it is not someone who has their finger on the pulse
no,
whatsoever.
no. I'll touch because so the Grammys announced Khruangbin, didn't they, as a new artist? So
Mm.
I feel like there's a similar like path that's been followed here. So I wonder if the same person has been responsible for this catastrophe. Well, I don't, right, these are all good artists. Nobody
Oh
is
yeah, no, I'm not doubting that
criticism. Yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah, nobody's doubting that. But Chappell Roan is one of the biggest pop stars around at the minute, regardless of how fast
I'm hearing she's she's going to be big, Chappell Roan. I think there's
she's going to
big
be
things
huge in
coming.
2025 when she's already
Yeah.
booked a headline Primavera Sound. She's going to be great. It's a great prediction, to be fair. It's not quite Paul the Octopus World Cup predictions, is it? It's but no, like well, that's one, and that's one stupid thing. Like, just leave Chappell Roan off because why don't you throw Sabrina Carpenter in there as well, who's had exactly the same trajectory?
Yeah, oh, Charlie XCX perhaps going to be
Yeah,
big
yeah,
next
yeah,
year. I mean,
yeah.
but there's two Mercury Prize winners in there. Like,
Yes, Ezra Collective English teacher.
what are you doing?
They're the
Like,
last
who?
two Mercury Prizes. It's as if they've searched
No, no,
maybe
no.
like
Oh yeah, no, sorry, it was Kiwanuka before Collective,
yeah.
wasn't it?
It's
Yeah,
as if they've searched Mercury Prize winners and oh, they'll be big soon. They've
they'll
just
be big.
oh,
It's like
ink.
just outrageously uninformed is how I would describe it because like I just don't like how can you put a list together like that when almost every single one of these bands will have had regular play on BBC music stations. Like,
Just yeah, confidence. But confidence band's on the third album this year.
yeah, exactly. And I know I feel like they have had perhaps a surge in popularity over the last maybe 12 months, but surely then you should have been picking them last year instead
Yeah,
of
and
this year.
they had a boost after the last. They played Glastonbury last year, but they played it a few years before, and they got a bit of a boost off that.
Yeah.
So they've been on there's just no way. What is Sound of 2025? Do they claim it's people about to break through, or do they claim it's like kind of what we'll be hearing a lot of in 2025? Because
I
I've
don't
always
know.
thought it's about breakthrough artists. Whether they've changed
It
that,
it feels like it has been sort of marketed as that perhaps, and
yeah,
that's the vibe I get from it as well. But I
yeah.
just don't like. Again, it just feels so bizarrely late to the party of them to
Mm,
lists like
yeah.
that. Who's your pick for? Who's your sort of genuine pick for the sound of 2025?
So are we ignoring the list? Yeah.
Well, I mean, the list we can go through it if you like, but it's people who
Well,
were either Mercury Prize winners, nominated for the Mercury Prize, high
so
up on Glastonbury Bill, high up on
surely,
Reading and Leeds.
if we're talking about who's going to have the biggest impact in 2025 based on a breakthrough, even though it's
Mm.
not going to be a breakthrough, then Chappell Roan should win it.
Well,
Um,
I don't think there's like a prize. There's not a winner, is there?
yeah,
Or
yeah,
is there?
no, there is. Yeah, yeah, they choose because they choose a top three, I think. Because Last Dinner Party won it last year.
And that, to be fair, it was a pretty good pick
Yeah,
last year,
yeah, yeah.
because that album came out this year. I mean, I know they were kind of already aboard that massive momentum train last
It was
year.
kind of obvious pick, but it was a correct pick.
Yeah,
But
an easy win because I
yeah,
think Nothing Matters would have come out. That was like April last year, I think. So
mm,
I suppose they had already begun to sort of build that level of hype up. But in terms of who I would pick, I think Kneecap is a pretty good shout because the
oh,
album
yeah,
is already out and they've had this kind of publicity splash with the Arts Council funding stuff, and they've got the big shows with Fontaines coming up next year. I think that kind
Knee,
of makes sense.
Kneecap would be a very good pick for a kind of a sound off winner, but it's the BBC and they're very outspoken, aren't they? So whether they can go too far down that lane, I'm not sure.
This is it. It depends if the BBC have got the stones to kind of commit to it, which because like it's not BBC News, no
No,
one at BBC News or BBC Politics is picking this list.
mm.
Um,
But to put them on
maybe
the
Ezra
list, I
Collective,
suppose, is a
but then
Ezra
is
Collective
that?
can't win it, surely.
But yeah, this is it. They are already a pretty substantial established artist.
Yeah, so well, the reason I said Chappell Roan was because the breakthrough has been this year. So it's kind of fresh. Like Confidence Man, definitely not. Ezra Collective won the Mercury Prize 2 years ago. English
Mm,
teacher, maybe, but
perhaps.
similar
But
to
then the thing
Chappell
with
Roan, the rise was this year.
it was this year. But the thing with Chappell Roan is I get the sense that, her UK tour is done, the album is out, a lot of her touring commitments are over. So unless she continues to release music, which based on her relationship with the industry seems like perhaps she might take some time off. I wouldn't be surprised if she sort of has some time away. Maybe 2025 isn't, that's not going to be when she's going to be as big
No.
as she has been this year.
Yeah,
I
it has
just,
been a quite a tumultuous like time, hasn't it, for
yeah,
her?
definitely.
It
But
definitely doesn't
then
get on with the media.
no, but I sort of really respect and like that
Yeah.
about her in that she has absolutely no qualms calling out, photographers who are dickheads towards her and people who are, it's a problem in the industry that people, mostly men, feel like they have more power than they do and
Yeah.
objective
But
rights to do stuff that they shouldn't.
well, she was a backing singer, I think, which was I think Lady Gaga might have been similar. The Lady Gaga was definitely a songwriter, and then she suddenly went into the limelight and
Mm.
like I wonder if Chappell Roan didn't really expect it to get so big so fast.
Yeah, this is it. I saw a couple of tweets that she was maybe expecting to be like a similar level of fame to Charlie XCX before Brat came out. In
Yeah, I was
that,
going to say because they've just if she said that like as
well,
the
yeah,
ascension
but
was beginning.
someone who has like a really hardcore cult group of following, reasonable amount of success, critical acclaim fairly universally, but is
Mm,
not a sort of household, well-known, established sort of Radio One play every day type person. But
mm,
the album's pretty good. I liked it. I'm not generally a big pop fan, but I enjoyed her record. I was absolutely gutted to not get tickets to see her in Manchester. Um, but
mm,
I think she'll come around again, but that'll be at the Co-op Live. That's going to be big, big shows. And perhaps that could
mm.
happen next year, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't.